experimentation and observation. That's all a true scientist cares about. And I am a scientist. Everything in the world is an experimental test subject. Of course, that includes myself as well. Now that I've collected the necessary initial data from all of you, I think we're ready to begin the experiment.
Hello everyone, once again, this is the Professor. Now, I fully understand that I should be working on the retrospective, seeing as I said that's going to take most of my video creation time, but I remembered that there were a couple of items that I have left undone, a couple of promises I have made that I'm really feeling like an ass because I haven't completed doing this yet. The first thing is that I promised a certain user by the name of ShadowCat0161 that I would give them a shout out on my channel. And to this point I haven't done it yet, and I apologize to you ShadowCat for that. Right now I will go ahead and give my shout out to them. I did actually run across them at the Arkansas Anime Festival. I signed an autograph, first autograph I've ever signed in my life. Strangest freaking moment in my life. I had no idea how to react or respond to that. But yeah, so if you get a chance, go ahead and go check out ShadowCat0161 sometime. As for the other two promises I have yet to fulfill, and I need to do so before continuing the retrospective, the first one is a commentary on Mr. Awesome and Mario 360. They requested a commentary, and I will be doing that one after this. The promise that I forgot to keep this time, though, and the one I'm going to be fulfilling today, is this one.
Oh, and 116 Randomist, if you hate this video and it pisses you off, just wait till I get to your piss-poor Skyrim review.
Yes, I have yet to do that commentary on 116 Randomness's Skyrim review. I said I was going to do it, and I know a couple of people said they were looking forward to seeing this commentary, so by golly, I'm going to do that here today. Now, I've already been mean to this guy once, and what I want to do this time, it's not as much mean, I'm just going to point out their errors and their flaws within their review. I'm not going to be poking too much fun at the guy. I've already done that once. I've got a pretty good understanding with the guy. He's not a bad person. He's actually an alright dude. He's an alright guy. So this is going to be more just critiquing, not as much taking pop shots at the guy. So let's go ahead and jump into his Skyrim review and see what we come out with.
Hey guys, it's 116 Randomness, and I'm going to start off this review by saying this is an M-rated game and viewer discretion is strongly advised if you are under 18. Now, this game review is not going to have any gameplay, sadly, but it is going to be extremely in-depth.
You do realize without any gameplay, you won't have any visible and viable proof that you have actually played it. That is definitely an issue if you couldn't tell. Gameplay is used to solidify any points that you are trying to make in your review.
So, still watch it because it will be very good as an actual review, not as just watching something. It may get a little bit boring, but because this game is so intricate, I don't know what that word means. I don't know why I used it.
Then don't use words you don't understand. Using big words that you don't know won't make you seem smart. It will actually make you seem unintelligent. But I will help you here. The definition for this is having many complexly arranged elements. Or it can also be solvable or comprehensible only with painstaking effort. That took about 5 seconds on Google to find, by the way. Why didn't you do that?
But because it's so complex, it should not get that boring. So yeah. The reason is because I'm having problems with my capture card, but luckily, Christmas Classic Games Month will still be okay, because for those 24 games, they're all retro games, so I'll use an emulator. Now to begin. So basically, 6 days ago from when I'm recording this, 11/11/11, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim came out. The Elder Scrolls has 14 games in the series, and Skyrim is the 14th.
Let me ask you a very simple question here. If this is the 14th game in the series, then why the hell is it called Elder Scrolls V? Please, please, please don't tell me that you are counting all of the expansions to the other games as their own game. This shows a definite lack of knowledge of the series. I figure you searched Elder Scrolls on Wikipedia and just counted all the releases without taking into consideration that most of those are expansions and side games. It just looks really bad when the title of the game includes the number 5, not 14, and you come up saying this is the 14th game in the series.
The good thing is you don't need to play the rest of the games to understand the newest one. It's all created by Best Game Studios.
Everyone, I know that this is a nuance and kind of nitpicking, but it's actually pronounced Bethesda.
Amazing, or it is amazing, and so that's a good role model of their work or example of their work. Now for the actual review. The storyline of the game was confusing for me for a long time until I had somebody explain it to me. The main character is the last Dragonborn, and he's trying to kill the Norak dragon god Alduin because he's evil and wants to destroy the world. So he took form of a dragon, this evil god of destruction. And so he's trying to destroy the world.
It's not a god in the form of a dragon. It is just a dragon in the form of a dragon. Mind you, he is considered a god in Skyrim, but he's not one of the gods from the Elder Scrolls series. Your friend misled you, or you misunderstood what they were saying. What you told us was more like the plot behind the first Dragon Age, actually. Which, on a side note, why call a game Dragon Age when there are so few dragons in it? Skyrim is more of a Dragon Age than those games because the bastards are everywhere.
The main character is a prisoner and he's supposed to be beheaded, but right before he's beheaded, a dragon came and ended and he started destroying stuff, and you end up getting free. Then the dragon rains terror, and as he's doing that, you have a choice to save another prisoner or a guard, and thus the story begins.
Actually, they both free themselves, and you don't save them. You just choose who to follow out of the area that is being attacked.
As I said before, there is choices that you can make. The story is a lot like Infamous in a way because you get to choose different things to do to alter the way that you are treated, etc.
Man who wakes up in the morning with the power to control electricity, and someone who has to kill an ancient dragon. Yep, those stories are exactly the same. Where do you come up with this stuff?
On for the controls, it's on PS3, PC, and Xbox 360. I think that it's best on PC and Xbox 360 because the way that the Xbox controllers triggers are made are a lot stiffer and they're a lot better for the attack and getting into the mood of playing the game. I think that PC is a lot more compatible with it, and if you have a controller to plug in, it would be a lot better because Wazda is not as good as an analog stick.
That is more of a comparison for the hardware and not the gameplay. I have the PS3 version. I've actually played a little bit of the 360 version, and they control exactly the same. And the controls are just as responsive on both systems. I know that this is nitpicking, but what can you do sometimes, especially when he's kind of doing the same thing? I must also question why you say the controls on PC are better than on consoles where you're forced to use a controller. Because, as you stated, they are more compatible to the keyboard and mouse, but yet you state that the PC controls will be better if you used a controller. Are you meaning for this review to be confusing?
The graphics and level design are most people's favorite features because the graphics are beautiful. I don't know no, if you know me, you know that my favorite feature of a game is or a game's graphics is the water. And this game's water looks amazingly realistic. Also, mountains, grass, trees, and everything is extremely detailed. Also, a great feature is that unlike a lot of other games, there aren't any backdrops in the sky. Everything that you can see, you can go to. If you see a mountain in the sky, you can actually climb up to the top of that mountain.
Not true. I have come across certain areas that you cannot climb up, either due to the mountainside being unclimbable, or that the game barriers won't let you go to it. Yeah, you can go to those areas, but you can't always climb to the top of them.
This really gives a good feel of the world and eliminates the feel of there being invisible walls somewhere in the game. Also, all of the characters and enemies look extremely detailed, especially the dragons, which I'll get into later. The concept of the game is to level up, and the way that you level up is by practicing different skills. For example, if you were to practice combat, I might or if I were to practice combat, I might become a little bit stronger in attacks. This is a role-playing game, so if you've ever have played a role-playing game, then you know what it's kind of like because they're all pretty much a little bit similar with the way that they are formed.
That is completely incorrect there, Mon Capitan. In your typical RPG, you just gain experience points, and then you level, while in Elder Scrolls, you don't gain experience points, you gain skill points that raise your skills. Now in Skyrim, when you level up a skill, you have the ability to spend points to buy perks. In your typical RPG, say Final Fantasy, once you level up, the game assigns your new stats itself. This isn't counting Final Fantasy 2. This does not take place in Skyrim. There are games where you assign the stats yourself, a la Dragon Age, but once again, this is not the case in Skyrim. The only stats you increase in Skyrim yourself is health, stamina, and mana. Another item is that your enemies level with you, which is very different from your typical Final Fantasy style RPG. So I hate to tell you this, what you just said was a very erroneous statement.
The game has many characters to help you level up, and there are many enemies to help you with your fighting skills. Also, the game has less necessary tasks that you can take by helping people in the country, and hobbies. The hobbies are skills that mostly are just for fun, but can also be used for quests, and they are such as cooking, stuff like that.
Those are not hobbies. They are listed as skills as well, and count towards you leveling up. Plus, they are very useful. Believe me, when you work on smithing, you can create a set of armor or a weapon that is much more powerful than anything you can buy or find in the game. They set this up so working on these skills in conjunction with each other is very beneficial to you.
The customization in the game is a very good feature because it's not you don't only get to choose what the story is that you take by the choices that you make, but you also get to choose your character. You can choose a lizard or an old man or an orc. There are even 3 types of elves to choose from. Also, you can choose your weight and a lot of other features. The replayability is amazing. After you finish the story, you can go back and finish all the side missions, and after you've done everything, then you can go and just explore the world. The world is huge, and it's worth looking at the whole entire thing and every bit of it. Also, during the game, you may find a dragon and battle it. The dragon's battles are very exciting and makes your blood pump.
Though this only happens after you complete a few main quests. That is something that you really should have stated. The way you said it puts across the idea that the dragons are everywhere as soon as you start the game, which is not the case.
The dragon is not that strong, so it won't die in every battle, but you won't die in every battle, but they are very big, and they fly around, so they really make you feel like you're a warrior, because they're a little bit hard to destroy, but they don't attack you that often.
The farther you get into the game, the more they will start showing up. Though there is a couple of different types of dragons in the game, and each have their own difficulty level. Once again, the way you said it gives out false information. At this point, I am highly doubting that you have ever even played the game yourself.
You could help yourself out by learning some magic skills, which would help you attack the dragon from a far distance. There are a few problems with the game, sadly, but I only know 2, so I'm just going to name those. There's one glitch that I saw with the animation, and it doesn't happen to everybody, but I heard that happens sometimes when it shows the side clip. It will have a little bit of a glitch with the animation. Not a big deal, though. Also, third person's accuracy is not the closest, like, if you aim at something, it's not going to be right in front of you. You gotta go forward, right, like, you understand, because you can't see what you're looking at, so you don't know how close you are to stuff in front of you.
If you have ever played Morrowind or Oblivion, you would see that the third-person perspective is exactly the same way. So it is really not a issue or a glitch. That system has been just the same for a very long time.
That is all that I really have wrong with the game. Obviously, there's a third-person problem, and that can be easily avoided by just playing first person, but that's all, and it's not that big of a deal. So the game's overall just very amazing, and that's all I have, so I hope you like the review.
Okay, everyone, I am ending the video right here because everything after this is kind of whoring his channel out in fluff. So, final thoughts behind this review. They're very simple. 116 randomness, I highly doubt that you have played this game. What you gave us is erroneous on most every aspect. This is coming from a guy who has played the entire series. I know quite a bit about what I am talking about when it comes to Skyrim. A lot of what you said could have been fixed with just a very short amount of research. Though I'm going to go ahead and echo what Jen, Kristen, and Ramza have already said about you. I think you could be a decent video game reviewer if you ironed out a few details, so go ahead and keep at this. You have already shown that you can do better when you made the Scribblenauts review. Although, one last thing, 116, I want to call you out on some bullshit! Taking a look at the tags on your review of Skyrim, I have a few questions. What in the hell does this have to do with Nintendo, montages, Uncharted, IGN, shooters, exclusiveness, footage, seeing as there was none in this review, commentaries, collections, updates, first-person shooters, demos, Xbox Live, and other items? This is called tag loading, and it is against the community guidelines. This is something that YouTube whores do. Ray William Johnson, Shane Dawson, Shay Carl, SXC Phil, they do this bullshit. And I don't want to see you become a YouTube whore like those bastards. Fix this issue before someone decides to flag you for it, because it is a flaggable thing. This is the Professor, everyone, and I bid you all a very fine adieu. I will see you next time when we look at some idiots who are really not good game reviewers, unlike this guy.
Okay, class is dismissed. Ugh.